Hourglass timing, good things come to those who wait.
Silhouette looking cinematic.
Yeah, I bet you wish you had this. Bless me, I'm sicker than your average.
So contagious.
Welcome. I'm so glad that you're able to join me either live or on replay. I'm Lilyvette Rodriguez with Align by Design, and this is my 7-day personal Facebook Live challenge. Sometimes just saying that could be a challenge all by itself. Anyway, when you have a chance, I'd like to ask for you to please like my Align by Design coaching page on Facebook so that we can grow organically. I'm really excited about bringing on our next guest, which is Tracy Allen with Digital Marketing Supply. Welcome, Tracy.
Hey, Lilyvette.
I know this has been quite an adventure, So before we start our deep dive, for those who are looking at us live or on replay, share a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a digital marketer, video producer, mom of 2 awesome young adults. I got to throw that in. Young adults. And, I just love being able to create. So I've started coining the phrase creator extraordinaire. So that's just a little bit about me. And I've been really happy to produce this show for you, Lilyvette. This has been so much fun. I know that you're trying to showcase me, but I got to say that you know some amazing women, and this has been such an awesome journey. You're just like really shining, doing these videos, asking all these great questions, and I've been sitting back here as the producer and just loving the show. Just enjoying what you're asking folks and the answers that you're getting, and the times where people are like, well, let me think about that. So you've been doing a fantastic job. So I'm glad that you allowed me to be part of this journey with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't have anybody else come down this journey with me. You have been fantastic. And so not that I saved the best for last, but I think I did, right? Because you've been with me throughout the entire journey. So, it's so funny. Jason Hodge on Facebook is saying, awesome job, ladies. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah. So, share with us how you started this journey on digital marketing, because you are not new to this space at all. I mean, your credits, you didn't even put some of the other things that you do, but how did you enter? What caught your interest to enter this space?
I got started with creating videos myself back in 2010. I had a job working for a car dealership. That dealership was going out of business. And I said to my friend, Troy McKnight, I said, I'm going to start my own business. And he said, well, whatever you do, make sure that you incorporate video. Now, I heard him, but in my head, I was thinking, I need to create videos. I got to go into editing. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I went to an event, and there were a bunch of vendors out there. And I'm looking at all these folks trying to sell their products. And I just wanted to help them with technology. I knew that video was going to be something important. And so I walked up to a guy and I said, hey, he was selling pudding. And I said, would you like to be on YouTube? He said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, tell me who you are and what you do. And so he said that. And so I went to other vendors, and I was just like, okay, I think I'm going to create my own talk show, the What Do You Do show. So I started off creating videos, interviewing local entrepreneurs, business folks, who they are and what they do, why they do it, how they help people. I wanted them to shine as the experts in their fields. So that was the whole purpose of me starting that. But of course, from there, I love technology. I love seeing the progression of the video and stuff, because back then I had a little digital camera. Cell phones wasn't even all that hot with camera at that time. So I had a little digital camera. I didn't even have a tripod. I'm propping my camera up on boxes and doing my stuff, But I've watched it come such a long way. And so being able to use platforms like this is so exciting. It's so much more fun. So it just led me into so many other aspects of digital marketing. So the QR codes just made a whole lot of sense to me. The chat bots made a lot of sense to me. And I'll let you ask whatever questions and stuff.
No, this is about you. I mean, I can tell that you have a passion, but before we get too far into some of those other details, you bring up a really good point that technology keeps changing. So from your perspective, how do you stop yourself from becoming a shiny object guru?
I don't see myself as a shiny object guru anymore. Now, honestly, probably a couple of years ago, I probably was still trying to buy more and more software and stuff. But at some point, I just said, what I have is enough. And all I need to do now is just kind of fine tune and have it make sense. And so one day, I think I shared with you, Lily, that, video is like the big thing for me. And everything else were like accessories. So the chat bot, that just accessorizes the video and stuff, because you can put video in the chat bot. The QR code, well, you need more than just a QR code to really make a successful campaign. So there's just all of these pieces that go with video, but that video is allowing me to look you in the eyes and be able to have a conversation, be able to tell you who I am and what I do, and demonstrate the different things that I might have access to that can help you. So that's pretty much how I got started and why I do the things that I do.
And you do them really well. I mean, I consider myself to be a creative person, and you know that I've been saying this all along. It's like your level of creativity is to the power of 10. I mean, some of the stuff that you put together, even I'm saying to myself, it's like, oh my God, how did she do that? And you make it seem so effortless, that creative part of it, which then leads me to the question is, what is the biggest misconception that maybe new businesses may be going into an approach where they could do it by themselves, but it's probably not in their best interest to do so?
I think businesses, a lot of times, there are certain businesses that really should focus on what it is that they do best. So when you have someone like myself, if I'm, wanting to produce a show for you, if you've got a show that you want to put out there, instead of you trying to go through the learning curve and try to do everything on your own, why not focus in on what you're really great at and allow the person that's great at this to do what I do to be able to help you? So I just think a lot of businesses really need to, kind of make sure that they've got a marketing budget and make sure that they get the help so that they can make their business look more professional and free up some space in their brain and really enjoy what it is that they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. That's an excellent point. So if somebody's starting out, well, which by the way, I did during this week, right? Because while I may have known a little bit about streaming, I at least was cognizant enough to realize these are way too many details. I really want to focus on the person that I'm interviewing. I don't really want to have to worry about what's happening behind the scenes, because I want that experience of the viewer to be complete, instead of trying to figure out, these buttons and things of that nature. So if somebody is just starting out, what would be maybe the top 3 things that you would suggest for them to do? I mean, you already said, figure out a budget, kind of figure out what, in what direction they're going to move in. Those are 2 great points. But what else, if you've never done this before, not even don't have a clue?
There is so much great information out there on YouTube. People have broken stuff down to make it simple. So, I mean, there's just an abundance of knowledge. Me personally, I think just having some consultations, having some conversations about what it is that you want to do, to help you move in the right direction. I like how you and I met, not only just in the groups, but you had questions. You were like, hey, let me ask you, because I see that you're doing some things that I think are pretty cool. So let me ask you some questions. So being able to have some conversations with people that are already doing the things that you want to do, and learning, not being afraid to learn more about the industry and how to really make your business shine. The storytelling is something that's really important, especially with video. So again, going back to my days of the What Do You Do show, it was about that story. What are you doing this for? What's your why? And so once you have that, just making sure that you have all the right tools in place to make sure that you are shining the best light on your business, and just keep learning. Just be open to learn, to see how to be the best at what you want to get done.
Great advice. Great advice. So I know that your areas that you've opted to narrow in on are, of course, video, chat bots, wall art, which I want you to go into detail when we get to that segment, and texting to video, a couple of other things. But share with me how you choose the products to have a well-rounded representation, not just of yourself, but when you work with clients.
So when I'm working with a client, a lot of times people will come to me with what it is that they've seen that I do, and they say, I want this. And so I don't try to push everything on anyone. If a person says, hey, I like that texting video, I'd like to have something like that for my business, then we can talk about that. What is it that you envision? So it's always really important to look at the end goal. It's not about me just pushing this type of video on you and I don't care about the outcome. I want to know what's your goal outcome so that we can work towards it. And it's about a team effort. It's not just me that, comes up with the ideas. I need something from you. I need to know what colors you like, what, depending on your business, what is it that's going to be really powerful for your video to get your video seen or get the job done of what you want. So having that end goal, having the customer tell me, this is what I'm trying to achieve. And then we take it from there, because I've got a whole plethora of things. I come up with all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
But I really try to narrow it down.
I know you do. And that's why I want to segue into your wall art. And I think that it's worth sharing with those who are joining us live, or if they're watching the replay. Your wall art has evolved a little bit. I would say over the last couple of weeks in particular, because one of the things that, because you are so creative, that sometimes the client may not get to see that vision. Can you share with me a little bit about that experience, because that happened recently? I think it's a great story, so that's why people need to hear it, because there might be others who are going through the same process.
Right. Well, as you said, I love creating things. I come up with things that a lot of people they're like, I'm not there yet. I once met with an older lady who said, you're a visionary. And I was like, really? I don't know. I don't see it, but okay. But I get it now. I understand that I see it. So like with my wall art in 2017, I was finishing up with my breast cancer treatments and all of that. And this idea of wanting to see people on calendars hit me, right? And so I just started thinking, wow, it'd be nice to have people have like a calendar with their picture on it. And then people were like, I don't use calendars. I don't need a calendar. And it's like, but it has your picture. I'm not really tripping off the calendar part. It has your picture and it's just kind of symbolic. And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay, all right. So that's where the idea came from, because for me growing up, I always thought calendars, when it had somebody on it that I knew, was really cool. And so if I want my own calendar, I thought it was pretty awesome. But then it pushed me into wanting to do more than just calendars. Let's take it a step further. Let's make sure that we're adding that QR code. So the QR code is just so cool because you can have a QR code where you can have your own affirmations, record your affirmations. And then when you scan that QR code, you're hearing yourself with your vision, your end goal, playing back for you. So as an example, let me just kind of show you here. So this one is one I did a couple years ago. So this is my little breast cancer, what cancer cannot do. And so here is a poem. And in that poem, what I decided to do was I recorded my voice and had some music, but I'm saying this poem so that it was to really push that in my head that I'm stronger than cancer. Cancer's not taking me out. And I know that there's so many people that have lost their loved ones or there have just been a lot of folks that have left here due to either breast cancer or any kind of cancer. I've lost 2 friends this year due to breast cancer. And so it just really started sealing that into my head to start helping other people to see a vision. So then I said, well, let's make like vision boards, wall arts, right? And so then that's when I did mine here. So this is me. I'm like, okay, I want to see myself in Bora Bora. Mm-hmm. And so we got Bora Bora, we got a quote there, and we've got the QR code at the bottom. And so this particular QR code takes me to some music that I love, but I did another one for a friend of mine who she wanted a particular Tesla model. So she's in the car at the dealership, and then she wants to own these properties, this condo property. So I removed the background of the Tesla, of the car dealership, and I put the car in front of the property she wants to own, had her to record her affirmation. I own these properties free and clear. I own this Tesla model, blase, blase, and it has some music. And then when she scans it, it opens up to a video of really, it's just a really quick thing, but it just opens up to a little video where she's hearing herself with the music and all of that stuff. So again, my belief is you need to be able to see it. You need to be able to see what it is that you want. This year, 2020, that vision, I did a digital vision board, and it helped me with a few things that manifested this year. So I really understand that power, and I want to help other people to have that same kind of power.
And that's powerful. And the other part that's so unique and wonderful about the QR code is that it can be programmed and you can change the message. So sometimes people just think that, okay, this is just the one stagnant, just that particular message, or, it could be commemorating a special event or acknowledging or recognizing an employee, or as you just stated, positive affirmations for someone who is undergoing XYZ medical treatment. These are things that we can use, but the power of this little QR code that now could be programmable. Before, people sometimes have maybe a hard time grasping that concept, and you do a really, really nice job of showing people, hey, listen, it could be live, it could be programmable, you can take it with you. And so now you've turned something that started off in the grocery business, and you've now put it into individual businesses, entrepreneurs. I mean, it's limitless, really, the industries that it can go into. But you took it one step further because you wrote an e-course on QR code.
Yes.
Tell me about that, because even in your QR code course, it's not stagnant. It's a live document. Share with us how you've made that a live document.
Well, the QR code course, it teaches you the basics of the QR code, like what is a QR code and where it began and how it began. And I create custom dynamic QR codes, simply meaning custom branded dynamic QR code. So making, you can change the color, you can put a logo in the center or a picture or some sort of image or what have you. And then that message can be changed as often as you'd like. And so like, for example, I made this coaster, right? So let's scan the code daily to replenish your spirit. So if somebody wanted to have coasters to give out as gifts, then they could actually order something like that. And maybe they don't want to change it like every day, but weekly, monthly. And so in my course, I teach you how to do this stuff for yourself, because sometimes people like to be able to create on their own. And so I like knowing that as I'm excited about something, I learn another technique, then I want to add that to the course so that people can stay abreast of what is changing, what's happening. So that's what my course is about, is to help you to be able to do this yourself if you prefer. And if not, well, then you can always come to me and I can always do it for you. But
exactly, because what ends up happening is that when you complete the course, you might say to yourself, you know what, this is good. I understand the concepts. I understand what it needs, but I just don't have the time. I don't want to invest the time. So it's good that you have the knowledge going into it, so that then when you get the end result and they work with you, then they know exactly what to expect. And it actually helps improve the working relationship too, I would imagine.
Absolutely. So that's just another thing that I do.
Excellent. So, in this particular arena, we've been in a life-changing event. 2020, in most places, March, the whole world came upside down. Right. And people needed to look at, how am I going to market my business? How am I going to promote it? And even before the pandemic came in, the projections for video were already that 85% of businesses were going to be moving into video to make that happen. How have you noticed, especially in this particular time frame, your business changing? Has there been a greater demand, more people asking questions? Share with us what your experience has been.
Yeah, the funny thing is, last year I was saying that 2020 is going to be the year of the webinar. I had no idea that this was going to happen. And so then when it hit, it was like, hey, I wasn't ready. And then people were scrambling. They weren't, people were in such a panic that they weren't really ready to listen to me tell them, hey, I can help you. It was like, no, I gotta get this done. So people did a lot of figuring stuff out for themselves. But at the same time, I did have some people that were like, so Tracy, I don't know how to get on Zoom. And so I was trying to teach people, hey, this is how you get on Zoom. Sometimes it involved actually physically having to meet with people, because there's some people that are really, really challenged when it comes to the technical stuff. And so for me, pretty simple, but for others, I understand, just matter of fact, just this week, I had to teach somebody how to do copy and paste. So I've learned to not take for granted that what I think is simple is, simple to everyone. There are people that still have questions, and I love being able to help people the best that I can. So when I knew that that this pandemic hit, I knew that people needed to do this. They needed to get on camera, and there's still a lot of people out there that are stressing out because they're afraid of another pandemic. And matter of fact, just the other day, there's a thrift store down the street from me, and they got big signs up saying, we're going out of business. So I stopped in and I chatted with them, and I said, hey, I'd love to be able to help you. Let me help you to go live. Oh, we did live. Ain't nobody buying nothing. It's like, okay, but there's some techniques that you don't know about, and I can help you. And so she's like, well, my husband, he did it live, and we ain't nobody out there buying nothing. I said, I beg to differ. So it all depends on, your understanding of marketing. And if you're not a marketer, you probably should ask the marketer to help you.
Absolutely. You don't know what you don't know, right? And the thing is that while the internet is really good and so is YouTube, there's information overload because you just think like, oh, okay, well, if I do these steps, like miraculously, business is going to walk in through the front door. And the reality is that there needs to be a strategy. And that's part of what you help businesses do, is to come up with a realistic strategy so that they can get realistic results, and that there's a difference between organic growth and paying for that growth. I would imagine that the conversations like that happen with some of the businesses that you work with.
Absolutely. So, I think you and I were talking about something earlier today, and I know that we got 3 minutes. Huh? Still producing, y'all. Still producing.
Well, the conversation's so good. Can't we just, it's like we have to make an exception.
I know, but at the same time, I'm cognizant of the time. So,
right.
But yes, I still make sure that we have the conversations about, going over the particular strategies. Like, I've never been somebody to tell people, you got to sign up for every social media platform out there. It's not, every social media platform is not for you. It really depends on what it is that you're trying to do, what it is that the audience that you want to reach. So just like this platform here, I love helping people with live streaming. And this platform allows it to go out to 30 different places, 30 different platforms.
That's impressive.
Very.
That's impressive. Because if you have to download and upload and, oh no, I mean,
Right.
No one would ever get their videos out to even the top 5 places that they may want to
Exactly.
have their live stream to.
Exactly. So with this platform, even though it has those 30 different places, a lot of them are not places that I would stream. I'm not a gamer. And so maybe my audience is not at the gamers sites. But, it is streaming on Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, our Facebook pages. Excuse me. So again, just making sure that people understand, who is it that you're trying to reach? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And then just making sure we hone in on that.
So, as we start winding down this wonderful interview, because, I could still ask you a ton of questions, but we want to be respectful of those who have joined us live or are on replay, and also your time too. Given that you are very futuristic in your approach, and visionary is the word that you use, and that is a very accurate word to describe you. What words of advice would you say to your future self?
My future self. Oh, I forgot to practice for this question.
What comes to mind? I'm sure that there's something near and dear to you that you think about all the time.
Yes, actually, I thought about the fact that there has been a time where I felt like, man, I'm not progressing as fast as I'd like to. I'm not there yet. And it's like, be blessed to enjoy the journey. Just learn, because to me, life is like the Wizard of Oz. It really is. You get put into this world, and then you get some folks surrounding you that are on your side, and then you come across some folks that's not necessarily on your side, but you just go through that journey, and a lot of what you're looking for, you already have it, but you're just picking up extra points, extra strength as you go along. So my future self, I would be like, okay, Tracy, when you start feeling a little stressed, just understand that you're growing in that moment, and that you're going to be okay. And at some point in your life, I'm not going to tell you when, Tracy, but when it happens, you'll feel good about it. You'll feel that you did the right things, and you did it for the right reasons, and you have no regrets.
And I'm sure that future Tracy is going to pay attention to those words. So if somebody wanted to out to you because they want to either find out about your wall art, your QR code, your chat bots, your wall art, your streaming, right? Because those are pretty much in a nutshell the areas that you concentrate in. how can they get a hold of you?
Go ahead and leave me a message in the contact us page at digitalmarketingsupply.com.
Excellent.
Digitalmarketingsupply.com. And I can get back to them at that time.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you know, Tracy, I could not have picked a better person to close out my 7-day personal Facebook Live challenge. It has just been such a joy having you be with me during this journey, but more importantly, because you know, you put yourself out there, and I love that. You have a heart that's giving, you're creative, and anyone who has the opportunity to work with you will be very blessed because you just create some absolutely amazing videos. And I just have to give kudos to you. And I want to say thank you to those who have joined us live or are viewing this on replay. Please, if you have a chance, go to my Facebook. I still don't know. Let me do the sweep. The sweep is easier, to my Facebook page of Align by Design Coaching. I'm Lilyvette Rodriguez with Align by Design, and thank you so much for joining me during this journey.
And thank you. I wanted to give a quick shout out. Jason Hodge, you the bomb, man.
Oh, he's awesome. And so is Harry.
And Harry
Jameson.
So I wanted to go through the chat and say hello and thank you. But just know that I love you. If you stop by and you listen, tuned in and stuff, thank you. So I just want to get that out.
Absolutely.
Shining like a diamond. I see people watching. Perfect hourglass timing. Good things come to those who wait.